Hello everyone, today is Friday, December 7th. It's 1:52 p.m. It's about 2 hours and 10 minutes before the regular session close. On my right is my computer clock, and on my left is the time in sales, the Emini SP trading at 26.46. Our videos are always recorded in real time. This is not a market replay or looking back on the charts. So whatever trades you see here, these are live simulation. Whatever happened unfolded in real time. We use all limit orders, as you can see here. This is a limit order at the close of the bar with a 3-tick pullback, so you can see price traded through. Our fills are pretty accurate. The goal on this is 3,500. This is the Emini SP 5-minute chart, and we have an open position here. We have a closed P&L of 1737 and an unrealized P&L of about 400. So we had one trade here. We went short, and that gave us our first equity high of 1737, and we're short 2. So if we get another trade of this size, and sometimes you get these kind of measured moves, I'm going to kind of show you what I mean here. If I take my Fibonacci tool here and draw an extension, so if I start at the high here and the low here and then go here, so here's your extension from this swing here to the low here to the low there. This stuff is pretty accurate, 100%. So the same distance from this high to this low would be down here at 2600. And so is it going to drop 46 points? I don't know, but it might drop to the 61% or the 76%. That's quite possible. There's still 2 hours trading. It's Friday. It remains to be seen. There's a little support here. But anyway, sometimes this is useful in figuring out where the market is going to go. Fibonacci in a predictive sense works sometimes. In any case, really nice trade on this chart. A solid short trade. We were stopped out a little prematurely, but we got short again, and here's our P&L so far. Okay, next is the DAX on a 150 Heikin Ashi chart. I was just talking to somebody yesterday. They were asking me about what are the most consistent charts, and certainly the Superanko 14, and then probably next in line would be this one, the DAX on 150 Heikin Ashi chart. This did 2,500 for the day. The goal is 2,550. It's a limit order with an 8-tick pullback. It's a pretty steep pullback. If we look at one of the winning trades here, you can see the close of the bar and our pullback. So these first two winners brought us up to about 1,700, and we had a little bit of a setback, only about 200 on this losing trade, and then a couple of more winners brought us up to 2,500 for the day. So here's our equity curve for the day, pretty nice looking. Okay, so this is something I tried for the first time today. This is a DAX on a 2-minute chart, and I have a higher time frame filter, and this did 1662 for the day. I think I set the goal on this fairly conservative, 1,500, and it's just a limit order with a 1-tick pullback. So I'm looking to get filled. I'm more or less relying on the higher time frame. And on this, this is a feature of the Autotrader that I haven't discussed much, but it's the stop-loss calculation mode, and it's set at 2. And if we look down here at the dialog box, this is essentially the manual for the Autotrader is built in. So number 2 is the prior bar high or low of your entry point, plus or minus ticks. So basically on this short right here, the stop is the high of the bar plus 5 ticks I have here. So my calculation mode is 2, meaning it's the high or low of your entry bar, and then you can add ticks to it. So I'm going to zoom in on this. So this trade here where it got stopped out, the stop is the high of the bar plus 5 ticks. Obviously, that's not enough. I should probably put 10 ticks there, because had I done that, I wouldn't have got stopped out of this trade. It would have been a great winner. So sometimes this works out pretty good. But here on this bar, the stop would have been here, the high of this bar, and this trade worked out pretty well. So that's actually pretty tight. The high of the bar plus 5 ticks. I think I could go a little more, but in spite of that, so here's a trade where it saved me. I probably would have got stopped out a little further down here. On this trade, this would have been the stop just below this bar and so forth. So I have pretty tight money management on this. The first target is 35 ticks, and I'm trailing by bars after 40 ticks. On this trade, that worked out pretty good. And so this hit its goal and had positive slippage. The higher time frame filter on this, I wanted to set pretty high, so it's actually a 34 Superenko chart. And this turned out pretty good. I chose it because look at the higher time frame background. It it takes out a lot of the noise of the lower time frame, and so this allows us to get trades with the trend. There is going to be losers like this, of course, but then there's going to be trades like this that go with the trend, and you can see how it waited for this trade and so forth. So first time I showed this, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but the concept of using a higher time frame is very valid and a very useful feature. It works really great in the Autotrader. It works perfectly, and you can mix and match time frames. Really a nice feature. Okay, speaking of higher time frames, the DAX on the Superenko 8 has been fairly consistent. This is showing pretty well. We have a higher time frame of a Superenko 6 tick actually, so it's actually a lower time frame, but as I've stated before, sometimes that lower time fits within the move here, like as you see here, and ends up with a pretty decent way to trade this. So this has a goal of 1500 and hit its goal and had positive slippage, and that was on this trade here. And I'll tighten up the chart so we can see the equity curve. We did draw down on this, but it doesn't look to be too much. Max drawdown here was only about less than $300, so less than 150 per contract. Pretty good, moderately active on this chart, but another chart that hit its goal with strong positive slippage. Okay, the crude oil on a 150 Heikin-Ashi chart. Although this chart can be quite active, it comes through frequently, and of course you could have a lower goal on this. I'm going to tighten up the chart, and while there was quite a few trades, we can see the drawdown here was just under $600 or $300 per contract, and it finished the day at 1240 P&L, and our goal on this is 1250, so just shy of its goal. Okay, next is the Emini SP on a Superenko 6 tick. This is trading 3 contracts. Most of our charts trade 2 contracts unless otherwise noted. I have maybe 2 or 3 charts that trade 3 contracts. This is one of them. So the idea of 3 contracts here is fixed targets of 20 and 40 ticks. A goal of 1200 is 400 per contract is the goal here. So that played out pretty well. This drew down $700, which is less than $250 a contract. So this hit its goal and had a couple of ticks slippage here. Okay, this is the template on this chart here. Okay, the Emini S on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart. It looks like this was one and done here with a P&L of 1,000. I think the goal on this is a little bit higher. No, I have the goal set modestly at 1,000. It's a limit order with a 3-tick pullback, and it hit this right off the open, and trading was finished in 10 minutes. So really nice trade here, very well placed entry and exit, and pretty nice swings on the indicators here, very tradable moves. Okay, here's the Emini SP on a Superenko 6 tick, and this is using our line break logic. So we need to have our line break signal and the precision trend signal to get in the trade. This is trading 3 contracts, and it's a limit order at the close of the bar, and a little bit different money management than the other 6-tick chart, and a goal of 1,300. And what's unique about this is I'm trailing by the volatility stop. I have a really tight stop loss of 12 ticks, and I'm trailing by the volatility stop, which is these little hash marks here. So this is our trailing stop. Okay, the Emini SP on a 987 tick line break chart. This is trading 3 contracts, and it's one and done on this chart. 1237.50 was the P&L today. The goal on this is 1300, so probably hit its goal and had some slippage. This is a limit order at the close of the bar, so it looks like it got filled at the close of this bar here. In any case, again, I'm trailing by the volatility stop at 4 ticks, which are these hash marks. Okay, next up is the crude oil on a Superenco 7 tick, and this has a goal of 1200, loss limit of 1000, limit order with a 4 tick pullback, and once again just trailing by the volatility stop, but at 35 ticks we're trailing by 0 bars minus 2 ticks, and this did 1180 for the day, just shy of its goal. It drew down about 250 per contract with a couple of losers. Actually was able to have 3 losers and only draw down about 500, and then came back with these 3 winners here, here, and here, and these 2 losers here were kind of small, as you can see the equity curve, so it was pretty much up after this initial slide downward and finished at 1180 for the day. Okay, the crude oil on a Superenco 8 tick with our line break logic. You can see the dotted lines here are our line break signals. I'm going to make this open, low, high, close bars, and so we can see the line break signals a little better. When they coincide with the trend indicator, there can be some really great signals here. This one's trading only 2 contracts, and it's a limit order with a 2 tick pullback, and stop loss 25 ticks. The goal is 1020, so just shy of its goal, but probably hit its goal. No losing trades. Very nice looking chart. This has been really consistent in the crude oil. Okay, another open position in the Nasdaq 5-minute. This just went short a couple of bars ago, so we have an open P&L of almost 600 here, about 600 as we speak. Probably didn't get filled on our limit order on this first trade. Okay, so next we have a Superenco, a regular Renko 5 tick on the Emini SP. There was 3 trades here. This is trading 2 contracts, so we had 3 winners in a row, and this hit its goal of 1000. And it may not look like much, but it can add up. So here is the template on this chart with the 6 Renko as a higher time frame. Okay, we have a number of charts on the Emini SP Superenco 4 tick, and this one has a higher time frame filter of Superenco 2 tick and a goal of only 750, so this was moderately active today. It drew down just shy of its loss limit, about 600 or 300 per contract, but then it came back pretty much up from the first drawdown and ended up hitting its goal, plus positive slippage. Okay, next up is the Emini SP on a Superenco 4 tick. This is using our line break logic, and this is a limit order with a 1 tick pullback and roughly 350 per contract goal. I think this hit its goal and didn't draw down negative, kind of a false start here, and then it regained, and with these couple of trades pushed it up over its goal. Okay, so we'll come back to our Nasdaq 500 5-minute chart, and this trade is in progress, and it looks like it's coming back to its entry point. But in any case, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching today.